Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Inside the Force. Got a full house. Well, not necessarily a full house. It's like five cards, right? But we got a full house as far as the podcast go. Dave Cottingham here, of course, with Casey Cooley.
Hello, everybody.
We also got Cody Geiler.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
And I don't know which way you are, but there's Kumaster Ku somewhere.
Hi, guys.
What's up, gentlemen? How's everybody doing?
Good.
Very good.
Good.
All right,
Staying home, staying safe.
Yes, absolutely. We're still social distancing our podcast here. Can't wait to get back in the same room. But it's great how we're doing this stuff and keeping stuff going. This episode really is going to be dedicated to talking about what we should have been talking about this past weekend, which is Star Wars Celebration. Yeah. Not going to happen for another 2 years, but we're going to go ahead and talk about, our favorite memories, look back on what makes Celebration so important and why it's become what it has become. So we've all experienced Star Wars Celebration, so especially together in the last couple times. So really cool to reflect and talk about it. And unfortunately, we were hoping we would get some news or some content that we possibly would have seen if we were all in Anaheim. We haven't gotten anything. Unfortunately, I do think that it has to do with the passing of Chadwick Boseman, which is just a surprise. I actually was not even under the impression that he had cancer, let alone fighting it while he was filming these Marvel movies. I don't know if anybody knew that. Did anybody know that?
Knew.
I had no idea.
It was
crazy to know that he was on the set of Black Panther while going through chemo and whatnot. So thoughts and prayers to his family and, of course, everybody that he touched. Great actor. The small things I do want to mention, just really quick, get it out of the way, because there was some announcements, but I don't know if you guys saw. Unfortunately, the Star Wars Lego Skywalker series got pushed back till spring of 2021. That was supposed to be a holiday release. Got pushed back. And then, speaking of Lego, Disney Plus is premiering. Did you guys see this? The Lego Star Wars holiday special in November.
Right.
wow.
It's celebrating Life Day, just like the original holiday special.
Yeah. Wow. I did not know that. That's cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty neat little animation series. Now, well, I won't even go there because
Don't even go there.
I'm not even going to go there. Yeah. So anyway, that's really the only bit of news that I've uncovered. I think everybody was in anticipation for a Mandalorian trailer for season 2. We shall probably get that. I'm assuming any day now. Cody, we were just talking about how close we are to the release, and what were you saying? When did we get the trailers? When did we get the trailers last year?
Well, so there was a teaser that actually came out. I guess August.
About the same time, yeah.
About this time, end of August. But the series obviously played November 12th. Then we got an actual full trailer, maybe a little bit more dialogue from Werner Herzog and some other shots. That was like mid to late October, I want to say. I don't know the date specifically off the top of my head, but so this time around, maybe it's only going to be one. I don't know. I mean, I would have thought for sure we were going to get one by end of August.
Yeah, I would have thought so too. So just real quick, some possible predictions now then too, I guess, with the trailer. If you think because I think I'm with you. I think we're only going to get one trailer for this, maybe some quick little somewhat TV spots, little short little social pieces. But what do you, Casey, what do you think we see in this? Do we actually see any of these rumors that we're been hearing about characters?
I hope not. I mean, I don't care if they tease it a little bit, but I don't want to see full blown Ahsoka or anything like
wow.
that. I don't want to say it. Yeah, I mean, and I remember too, like all the spots that came out, because they came out with like 10 or so spots. I feel like maybe more than that last year or the first season. Each one I feel like had maybe, or every now and then you had one or new shot, and like, because remember for a while we didn't see anything of Kara,
Right.
and then there was like a TV spot that had a couple of pieces of dialogue of her. So it's like, I feel like we may get something similar, but again, hopefully it's not too much with a new character like Ahsoka. I hope we don't. At this point, just don't show anything. Don't show anything too crazy. Just tease a little bit, and just show a lot of Baby Yoda and Moff Gideon with the Darksaber fighting Mando. That's all I need to show, really.
What do you think? What do you think, Cory?
Man, I think they show some of Ahsoka, like her leg, like a calf, with a saber. I'm just envisioning it like it's her, she's standing there. You don't really know who it is, and then all of a sudden you see maybe like two sabers, and then it cuts. That would be kind of cool. Mm-hmm. But it wouldn't bother me if all it was like, Mando getting out of his ship, and we
Here we go again.
back in the habit.
I mean,
that wouldn't bother me.
I think that's a possibility. I think that we could.
I know what's coming.
We have three main characters with, in a sense, Mandalorian, the Mandalorian, obviously Cara Dune, and then Grief. Throw in Baby Yoda, throw in Moff Gideon. So you have those characters, which I think were centered around. So they could be just showing them and hold off on the surprise characters or whatnot. That could work. Yeah. I think there was an article I read in rumors that there was recently a I think it was either a photo shoot or some kind of video shoot with Rosario Dawson in full costume again, possibly for some promotional materials. So,
they would have already done that, I would guess.
Yes,
toys and all that. Already getting their scans.
They've got to show something new, though. They've got to show something a little new. I mean, I guess you could get away with maybe showing Baby Yoda with a new force power of some kind that would get people hyped up. But I think you gotta show something a little different, a little new to get people hyped up.
If there's going to be a lightsaber, darksaber fight, I think you got to tease it. I mean, that is maybe. Wow. I know this is about Mando and Baby Yoda back there. So maybe it opens with a cute little Baby Yoda, and they end it with this, like what Cory was saying. I think that sounds really cool, just to see the lightsabers ignite. Kind of gives me a feeling of like one of the Force Awakens trailers, where we actually saw Finn with the lightsaber and Kylo, and right as they clash, it cuts to black. It's like they're gonna fight, but then they tease it.
Yeah, I could. Totally see that. Yeah.
So, last question on this. Would you, for every one of you, Casey, you can go first, would you be still as hyped for it if you didn't see anything?
Oh, yeah. As hyped? Yeah.
Basically, is a trailer going to elevate your excitement or not?
I'm sure it will elevate it, yeah. But it won't. I'm not going to be disappointed if I don't see anything too new, and to me that would be like spoilery, like anything too surprising.
No, I'm saying at all. Like if you
no trailers,
didn't see anything, would you be as excited?
With that. I'm very excited still for it, just because of all the potential, all the groundwork that seems to be laid. So yeah, I'm very excited, and I mean anything will get me more excited unless it's just in your face spoilery, like full on dialogue between Ahsoka and Mando. I'm like, oh great, well there. Or like if they show
the whole scene,
it's like the Avengers trailer where they show Captain America's first reappearance in the subway, like in Infinity War. It's like, don't spoil her first introduction. Like don't do anything like that. So I'll be fine if they don't show anything. Sure.
Cody?
Well, you might want me to watch it for you first because I'm
Yeah,
telling
you usually do.
something.
I always have to get it
They're
from
gonna
you.
show it. Now, I live for the trailers, so
Should I
I
watch
mean,
it? Should I watch it?
I feel like I don't need a trailer because I'm gonna watch it, but I do think like the rest of the population probably does to get hyped. And of course, you show that moment, what Cory was describing. Lightsaber ignites. Maybe you don't know who it is, but you kind of can tell it's Ahsoka's lightsaber or something. If she's in it, we're all assuming she is.
Yeah.
I think that would just get me so much more excited than, hey, here's another season of the show that I already love.
Some of the cool that they could do, like the bare minimum tease for me would be like if they, because Galaxy's Edge, the Extra X sign just announced that Ahsoka's lightsabers are going to be at Galaxy's Edge, and there's like a picture of like her two lightsabers, kind of like how Anakin presented it to her, like in a box. It'd be cool if they had a shot like that in the trailer, where it's like this box, you see her lightsabers, so even just looking at the hilts, that's some little tease like that would definitely get me and being excited, yeah, and a lot of people for sure.
I think Cody, I think you made a good point that actually there could be a big audience of people out there right now that have kind of forgotten that a season 2 is even coming, or when, maybe one of the things where they saw it a year ago and just haven't followed the news enough to know that a season 2 is coming in October yet. I mean, where would you know that information unless you were like, in Star Wars world all the time?
I feel like there were people that like watched it that like were brought in by Star Wars people that weren't that didn't really have any real, probably the normal people, not like us, but like the people that loved it just for the story, and then they felt so. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, because those people are I have no idea. Filoni. Geez, he's a great trailer maker. I don't know if that's you know what I mean. Like he's really good at pulling those images, but not enough image. Not just enough. I think. He's good at that.
Mm-hmm.
I will say the season 1 trailers, to my knowledge, they weren't anything special. Like
100% agree.
Because
it was the door, right? It was just the door, and it was him.
There was some cool like imagery, but one of them I think didn't really even have dialogue until you hear Werner Herzog say like one line.
That's right.
Yeah.
It was a little awkward to watch a trailer with no dialogue and just.
I think the teaser was that
show. I mean, what in the world? Yeah. It's like if we get similar type trailers where there's like seems like nothing's happening, then it's like telling you, okay, well they're avoiding something huge. Like maybe Ahsoka is in it a lot. These trailers are boring.
Well, with the teaser and I think even the trailer, you can go back and watch some of those shots that they actually removed.
Sure,
Baby Yoda,
like the sunset shots and all that.
Kid. So.
Well, the coolest thing was IG-11 doing his little gun kata equilibrium thing.
Yeah, that was super awesome. Yeah.
I think you had a shot of the armor,
and, fighting all those stormtroopers and all that.
Yeah, so you had a little bit, and of course Grief and Kara, but so I think you, but I agree with you, Cody. I think some of the animated trailers for Rebels and Clone Wars were arguably better than the Mandalorians.
Well, the Mandalorian gave you. It gave you the feel, and that was that it's practical. They're going back to like a New Hope type style and it's very dusty. It's very Western and gave me. I don't know what it would give someone who doesn't really watch is Star Warsy, but it just gave me that bounty glow down underworld bounty hunter thing just from even that simple teaser. But I don't know how these would be different. You'd have to. I want to see something. You could go the whole trailer and it just be okay. Hey, he's back. Okay, yeah, Baby Yoda's got a new thing. That's cool. Blah 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 blah. And
We've seen it already.
I'd be like, that's great. I'm excited. I'm already excited. But then, like, if at the end they gave you this, like, that would be really cool. Which kind of rings into my later memory that I'm going to share. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're talking. Okay, I think I know what you're talking about. But anyway, we'll see when a new trailer drops at some point. Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll be there.
What's that?
I just said we'll be there when it drops.
We will be there.
Drops.
All right, so let's talk about Celebration, because I want to get to some of our favorite memories and whatnot. Star Wars Celebration Anaheim was supposed to happen this past weekend. It was very delayed and getting canceled. I think we all anticipated it, but the announcement just came literally a month ago, I think. Whereas all of these other conventions and cons have been canceled for a long time. They did give you a chance to kind of reserve your seat for 2 years from now, or you could get a refund. I'm not sure. I would think everybody got a refund. Some probably forwarded it on, but who knows what you're gonna be in 2 years these days. Anyway, so it is coming back to Anaheim in 2 years, in August as well. So that's exciting. But that would mean it's going to be over 3 years between celebrations. Now, if people have been to celebrations regularly, they were not in the beginning. They happened every 3 years because they were actually in celebration of the release of the movies. So Celebration 1 happened in 1999. 3 years later, Celebration 2 happened for Attack of the Clones. Celebration 3 happened in 2005 for the release of Episode 3. Then it kind of went a little different as far as the release goes. Celebration 4 was in 2007, celebrating the 30-year anniversary of Episode 4. And then Celebration 5 was, of course, 3 years later for the celebration of Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. Now, Celebration 6 was a little off. It was only 2 years later in 2012, but it did celebrate Return of the Jedi. From there, they dropped the numbers. They started becoming Celebration Anaheim, Celebration Europe, Celebration Orlando, Chicago, and so forth. So now I want to first reveal everybody how many celebrations you have gone to. Cory, how many celebrations and which ones?
Oh,
2?
Geez. Yeah, I've been to 2. I think I went to the 6.
Celebration 6
in 2012.
Yep.
And then Chicago.
Chicago, right? This last one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So 2 for Cory. Cody?
2 for me as well. Celebration Orlando in 2017.
Yep.
And Chicago, 20, whenever that was.
Last year, 2019.
Last year, yeah.
I don't know.
A long year.
What day is it? I don't even know.
I know.
October.
It throws you off a little bit.
It's like,
Casey, how many did you say you went to?
4. I've been to 4.
4.
Yeah.
Okay.
almost fell out of my seat.
The 5th one, Celebration 5 and 6.
5 and 6.
And then the last 2. The
Orlando and Chicago.
2, so
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
4, but not consecutively. I skipped a year.
You missed the Anaheim one. That's the only one you missed. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have been to 7 celebrations, starting from 2005 in Celebration 3. And honestly, Celebration 3, I wasn't even aware that celebrations were even a thing.
Oh, while you were there, you didn't even know what was going on.
No.
What's happening?
At the time, we were making our first Star Wars fan film, which was the Unknown Discovery. We did a kind of a Pulp Fiction parody, right? And we wanted to release it, and I really it was funny because we, this is 2005. There wasn't a lot of filmmakers that had websites and all this stuff. So we created a website, and I don't know how I got wind of it, but I got wind of Star Wars Celebration, and I looked it up, and lo and behold, it was in Indianapolis, which is only a couple hours from here. So a guy we work with, David Silvernail, actually helped me create 300 DVDs and of the fan film, and we took it up to Celebration 3 and bought tickets that day. Now, back then, really wasn't nearly as big as it now. I don't know how many people were there, but you could wait in line at any panel and get right in. It wasn't like now where you have to stand in a queue overnight to get into a panel, or even just get into a live stream panel.
The waiting room.
Yeah, it wasn't like that then.
You get a voucher.
Because I even remember when we got there, I just went on a Saturday. We went up really early on Saturday morning, bought our badge right at the door, walked right in, had this box of DVDs, stood in the hallway, and started passing them out. And literally within like 10 minutes, they were gone. So we were like, well, we might as well just hang out and see what's going on. So we walked around and looked at this vendor, and then I remember getting in line. I was like, what's this panel? Oh, it's the episode 3 panel. Oh, great. So we got in line, and an hour later we were shuffled in, sat down, and and I don't know if you guys did you guys watch the Star Wars show from last week? That's what kind of gave me the reminder to do the show like this, because they did they looked back on memories of Celebration. And one of them was George Lucas making his first appearance at Celebration 3. And so I'm sitting in there with this preview. We saw the trailer of episode 3. They're talking, and then all of a sudden, here comes George Lucas. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
If you remember, starting in episode 2, he started shooting the movies with the digital camera, right? The Sony camera. And so at this convention, in that room, they had the first digital projector that actually showed the episode 3 trailer in digital. So there wasn't any film reel, there wasn't any lines or dirt or anything. It was cleanest image I remember ever seeing. It was incredible. But anyway, that was my first experience at Celebration 3. Then we did the same 2 years later for Celebration 4. We did our sequel, which Cory and Casey were in, Rise of the Troopers. And we did the same thing. We made DVDs and took it out to Anaheim. I'm sorry, not Anaheim. It was actually Los Angeles. It was the Staples Center, and the convention right next to the Staples Center. And we did the same thing. We passed out. We only went for a day there. We passed out, and then of course went and saw some panels also. But my first 2 experiences there were really just one-day events, right? So it wasn't until Celebration 5, Casey, when you first went, that we did the whole weekend and stayed the night and did all that stuff. So I went to 3, 4, 5, 6, and back to Anaheim right before episode 7, and then Orlando, Chicago. So that would be my 7 conventions. So, first off, let's go down really what, in essence, I want to know really what, to in your own words, really what Celebration, means to not only you, but what do you think it means really to the entire Star Wars community in a sense? What have you come to love and appreciate at all for Celebrations? Cody, go ahead.
Oh, well, I mean, the first year that I went with you all, 2017, I think the most fun part is we all packed into this transit, or I don't know, what was the...
It was a transit. Yeah.
It was a transit.
It
had like...
Souped up transit.
I don't know, like how... Yeah, it was this awesome souped up... We had screens and we just played the movies on repeat and people took turns driving. So it's just like that idea...
Hold on. Let's describe this correctly. It was a black Ford Transit that had 9 seats in it, I think. Because I think 7 of us were in there.
Except the back, some of the seats, it almost like became a bit of a bed.
It's like a bench in the back. It had like 2 sets of captain's chairs.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's
a disco ball.
Yeah.
It had. You said it had a TV. It had a 50-inch TV in it
I forgot
with surround sound speakers. So I just wanted to correctly paint the picture of what this.
No, this was souped up.
Yeah,
Because it makes me think like the front
this
seat,
was,
the TV must have been right here.
No, so
Like,
you had the 2 front seats. And then behind the front seats, up above them on the panel, right? It was sitting right back here. So you couldn't see it, obviously, in the front too, but everybody in the back. I mean, it was incredible. So, yes. And we drove.
Yeah, we had the movies on repeat. I think we started chronological, episode 1 all the way through, obviously to 7 because, 8 wasn't out then. But I think it's just that idea that felt, honestly, innately like Star Wars. It's like, here's a group of people, not all related. Jumping into this is probably more akin to Lando's Falcon, right?
Yeah.
This isn't the beat up one that that we see later on.
Yeah.
But it's like that idea felt like what Celebration was, and then obviously going for the first time, I was just blown away visually by everything. But it was that like the memories are staying in lines, right, with you guys and playing Star Wars Destiny, talking about the movies and what we love. And then the panels are great and very fun, but it's the community, right? It's being with your friends that all like the same thing. And I think that's something that I noticed once I got there, that there are all these people that are all doing the same thing that I didn't even know, So,
Cory?
It kind of taken off of Cody. I mean, it's a strange feeling to with anything really, but it's very special that it's Star Wars in this sense, because Star Wars obviously holds a very special spot in my heart and soul. That it's very odd that you can ever be in a room with, I don't know, a handful of people that share the very same passion that you do for one specific thing. So imagine, okay, it is a freaking convention center where everybody feels the same way you do. And I don't know if you've had the opportunity I've had viewing parties and watches for different things, but to see something for the first time with people that you've never met, but at that moment, you are on the same wavelength, and it's sensory overload, for some of this stuff. So it's a trip that you took that's dedicated to Star Wars. You're not going and you're like, oh, I'll swing by this comic shop. Like, it is get ready. Like, I'm not thinking about anything like family. I'm not even like, it's something. You have no dad for a week. No, but you know what I mean. Like, it is a dedicated, and it's that camaraderie where you're staying in hotel rooms together, you're laughing together, you're making memories together that last forever. That we still talk about the Red Falcon shirt, and we still, if we're near one of each other, I'll go red shirt, Falcon shirt. We'll still call it like it's that's an inside joke that we can explain later. But I guess I think that's it. That's it for me.
Guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. Like when you're like a lifelong Star Wars fan, it's definitely, well, for any level of a Star Wars fan, it definitely, if you go, it just elevates you in your fandom. Like you find something new about it that you love. At the same time, you grow in what you've already loved about it. So you just all of a sudden, if you weren't already consumed by it, and then you go to Star Wars, you now have become consumed by it because, again, you discover something new about it. And it's your shoulder to shoulder. Every inch of the room of the whole convention center is Star Wars, and it's impossible not to think about it, and it's impossible not to just be consumed by it all. And that's what's so much fun about it, because you never are really granted that opportunity to just 100% revel in your fandom. I mean, you might be able to here and there, but never to the extent of Celebration. And it just allows you that opportunity to finally stretch your legs as a Star Wars fan. And like Cory said, like everybody's in the same wavelength, and like everybody immediately becomes best friends because you all are, you all have your love for Star Wars. And there might be some differences, obviously for which trilogy you love or whatever, but there it doesn't matter, It's like Cheers, everybody knows your name, everybody's friends. So it's so much fun. And yeah, you get to see cool things. You get to, like, now it's so big and so many new mediums are coming out with Star Wars, like the Vader VR game. You get to try new things. You get to see new things, and you become kind of, whatever, what's the word I'm thinking of? You are subjected to so many cool exclusive things. Like, when you're there, we were there, we saw the Mandalorian's a couple scenes, and the first little sizzle reel a couple months before anybody else did. So you just, like, you're shown into this exclusive room of fandom that you get to just kind of take with you wherever you go from then on out. So it's great, and it's fun, and I love going with like Cody and Anthony when it was their first time, because I feel like you see it on their faces and you relive it yourself. You're like, oh, that's right. Like, that's why, again, like you discover something new about your fandom, and at the same time you grow in your own that you've known for your entire life. So it's definitely a special moment, a special weekend now.
Yeah, I think, as I just said before, when I went to the first couple ones, which I only spent a day at Celebration 3 and 4, you definitely don't have enough time in a day to really consume it. And I was when I was going for an intent of really sharing, creative project. So I was going there to do that, and to also just kind of see the cosplay and look around at the vendors and see if I can buy some stuff. I didn't really focus on what Star Wars or Lucasfilm was really trying to show me, because I wasn't really going full effort on to get in line for panels and meet celebrities or anything like that. I just really was there to see some stuff. It wasn't until we went to Celebration 5, Casey, and it was just four. It was only 4 of us that went. That I took in the whole weekend, and I really fell in love with Celebration at that point, because you staying every day and like you said, meeting new people, seeing, and the thing about what I really loved about that trip was we got to meet some of those Clone Wars actors that came out. We spent the night. So to put it in perspective, we spent the night outside of the convention center before going into George Lucas's panel with his main event with Jon Stewart that year. So we were out in line outside in the middle of the night. The hotel next to the convention center had most of the celebrities staying in it, and the voice of the Clone Wars actors, Dee Bradley Baker, Jason Arnold Taylor, and
James Arnold Taylor,
and Tom Kane saw us down there, and they came out and started hanging out with people in line. And what I love too about this is just a side note, but what I love too about, like you said, almost describing describing Cody's and even Cory and Anthony's first impression with Celebration, to see these actors, their first impressions of Celebration, seeing the fandom, seeing how much people love this thing. I mean, because of course you hear it and you see it on social media, but to walk into a room where you've got 30,000 people screaming at you, it's unbelievable. And those guys, you can see it in their faces when they were down there talking to everybody. Like, this is crazy. This, 1,000 people staying in the middle of the night outside of this convention on the concrete. It's like, it's crazy. And it's become such a magical, special time to, in my opinion, to share it with family and friends, because I couldn't imagine, to be honest, I couldn't imagine going by myself. I think you have to go with people you know and live that experience together because, like you said, Cody, driving down or flying down or staying in hotels together and just, walking to the convention together. I mean, it's just, there's so much to consume and so much to share. And it is a good time to get away from everything and just kind of focus on your love of Star Wars, because the beauty of it is it doesn't happen every year. It's every couple of years or sometimes every 3 years. And you really miss it at that point. You really want to get there after you haven't been there in a while. This year would have been the actual first year that it was back to back in the States in a way, they had Europe and here back to back, but this would have been the first time it was back to back, which was kind of strange. But because I do like it being every couple of years or every 3 years might be too much. But so it is very special. It's I love it. I will try to go to every celebration I can, and the beauty of it too, which I'm sure will be one of our memories, is that we've been able to do the show there on the podcast stage, which has been fantastic. So speaking of that, just throw out, maybe save your absolute favorite moment, but just what are some of your favorite memories, Cody, from any of the celebrations you've been to?
So save the favorite moment.
Save the ultimate one.
Going up and taking up this entire time? Okay, let me think of some.
Man. Well, okay, I guess I'll run through, because I did make a list of some that were fun, but not necessarily the best. I mean, when we went in Orlando, I feel like we got out of the car and went straight to the floor. I can't recall what day we were there, but
Thursday, that Friday. I think it was that Friday morning. I think you drove down Thursday and got there and did it Friday.
They were doing a tribute to Carrie Fisher. Unfortunately, that was something that they do, but they did a really nice tribute to her. And we somehow, the line system is always a weird thing at Celebration for people who either have been or haven't been. So somehow we benefited from the line mix up, and all of a sudden we got there. Probably should have been in the back. They moved a bunch of people to this weird little holding room, and then we just got in one of the, I guess it was one of the streaming stages. And so from minute one, it was get there. They had this amazing tribute to Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
We get in the room and, we're all probably kind of tired from driving, but then you're just this emotional wave of, obviously the
being there,
awesome work that Carrie Fisher's done, and then being there with all those people. It was just really fun, first experience. So I like that a lot.
Yeah. So that was your very first experience, which was, that was the 40th anniversary panel, right? Because that was Carrie Fisher tribute. Then they brought in, that was when they brought in Lucas. They brought in Harrison Ford. Mark Hamill, everybody. And then they had John Williams playing.
Hayden was there, and John Williams played live.
What an intro to Celebration on your first time.
Yeah. I just remember, because you kind of tear up when you're seeing the Carrie Fisher stuff, and then John Williams plays, and you're just it is this emotional kind of catharsis of just beautiful Star Wars. Yeah. The music is so much a part of Star Wars, and John Williams being there. Yeah, that was really fun.
So what else? There's got to be some other.
Oh, there's tons. I guess one that may be some people's favorite. The fact that we got into that Mando panel in Chicago was really cool, because we were in the arena that Jon Favreau, Filoni, and the actors were in. And that was just really cool to get to see some of the footage early. They played the sizzle. I think Casey mentioned it earlier.
Exclusive.
We got to see these scenes and stuff. And so I really remember, we left that. We all probably talked about The Mandalorian. I know we got in here on the podcast and shared our thoughts, but it was very different but familiar Star Wars feeling. And then forever, nobody had seen anything from The Mandalorian until they released that trailer. And even when they released the trailer, we were kind of discussing it. That trailer didn't have dialogue, didn't really set up the characters and their relations too much, but we all had a good feeling about how they were going to interact and talk, because they actually showed little scenes from it. Yeah. So that was a really cool kind of like peek behind getting to see that for the first time.
It was the first time we saw Carl Weathers, though, right? I mean, we knew he was involved, but that was the first time I think we saw his character.
Yeah, we saw his introduction and Werner Herzog. First glimpse of any kind of plot.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that was really cool. So I really enjoyed that a lot. It was really cool to get into that. I also got the Funko lottery that year, so that was a good year for me.
Your backpack is there somewhere, right?
Yeah, it's in here.
For those who are watching.
Yep, this didn't sell. So
mine's in the closet back here.
About $79 if anybody's interested. It's a Boba Fett.
And the wife really wants to sell it.
Yeah, nice. It could be yours. No, I keep it. It's a little keepsake.
Yeah,
it was fun. Let's see. I don't know. You want me to keep running through memories?
Sure. I mean, if you got more.
Let's see. I'm going to save the best for last, but I'm going to go through this other one that was honestly really a really cool thing, and it more relates to all of us. It's the night before the Chicago 9 panel. And we're all just hanging out in the hotel, and we're all just kind of chatting. We'd been to some panels and stuff already, and we're all just, obviously speculating about what it could be in the episode 9 panel, who's going to be there, what the trailer's going to show. And, Casey's over there reading Dark Empire. Oddly enough,
reading episode 9.
That was in that. And then we're like, Cory, I think, throws out like, is Palpatine going to be in the movie, or random things that I think came up that you kind of like predicted. And we're talking about, is Snoke going to be in episode 9? And Cory says no. And then I make this bet with him that he will be, which we still haven't paid up.
Settled up.
We did. I thought we did then. I thought we did the next night. We went to that store. Am I wrong? I thought I did.
I don't think so.
Because we went to that. We walked down the street and it was like raining or something, and we got. I could have sworn.
That was the dinner.
There was to the level of how bad you lost the bet. You should owe him another one. Because you bet him that he wouldn't even be mentioned.
I really wanted to go that one way, and by God,
there was like 2 or 3 of them in a tube. So
yeah. Well, but
and he heard his voice.
I could have said that wasn't that wasn't his voice. That wasn't his voice. Wait a second. Did I actually win this bet? Hold on. Time out. That wasn't actually Snoke, though. That was clones.
Snoke, though. But they said
They said Snoke. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And then
I thought they
you could have
wipe it away.
It was after we watched the movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Cory owes me.
That's right. I thought he was in the. That's right. He wasn't in the trailer.
Because Snoke was in episode 9, so that was fun.
That's right. I remember now. Okay, yeah, I'll get you. Oh, yeah. Name your poison, buddy.
Cory, I'll get it to you. Some memories.
Oh boy. Memories. Well, from the first. So you gotta understand that the first celebration I went to was maybe a month after I got out of the Marine Corps. So right after going from military to like where I can't do anything. I'm not doing anything, to like, what a great thing to celebrate, no pun intended, life back in the civilian sector than to go straight to a super nerd convention with, everybody I love and just experiencing that. And it was, so that in itself was super cool. And I remember specifically thinking about it on the ride up there. Because I don't know, I feel like we were watching it somehow too.
We were, we had a little TV.
We were watching.
We set up a little TV, yeah.
And we had lightsabers in the car.
Yes.
And we were wearing the stormtrooper helmets in the car driving, and like good old fashioned fun. Like just I don't know. I remember there was a specific moment where I thought like, oh my gosh, a month ago, I was, basically,
You were in Japan or something, right?
yeah, I was in Okinawa, Japan, and now I'm here, and I just felt, I did what I did, and that was great. Now there's a whole new chapter in my life, and I get to start it doing this, and it was a very heartfelt, I remember, moment for me there. Obviously, I bought my Darth Maul lightsabers because at the time,
convention, right?
At that convention, and I still got them. They're over there in the corner. I'll go grab them. But yeah, that was then I bought two because you had to buy two, and I was like, I got to get two. I think I spent like $500 something on two of them, but so worth it. And I bought my Sith eye contacts there too. I was with Casey, I think, when I got those. So that was really cool because I had before I was married, I had a kid, I had all the money I ever wanted. So yeah, I had enough money to do that. We went afterwards. We went to a really crazy. It was just crazy in the sense of there were people dressed up at this party, like it was like a after party thing. And there were Twi'leks. It could have been very Dark Talon, I don't know, but then there were just people, and it was just cool. It was a totally different experience. Just being around the same people that love Star Wars, just in a different type of setting. That was fun. I'm pretty sure. Shoot, I don't even remember his name. He did Robot Chicken. Not Seth Green.
Yeah,
but I'm pretty sure
Matthew Sinrich. Yeah,
Sinrich. Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I bought him shots. I think. I'm pretty sure
we were with him. We were with him, and we were with Chris Gore. They were all there. Yeah,
that was pretty. That was kind of cool.
Yep.
That was pretty cool. Everybody kind of being there and not being in any type of panel thing, but everybody just hanging out. Jumping forward, yeah, I loved that room. That was a fun room in Chicago. All of us just kind of roughing it there, speculating. I love the speculating was a lot of fun. The walk, and I mean, I don't know. These are just things coming to me. The walk from the room to the convention we did a couple times. And it was like cold in some parts and like snowing.
Well, we took the L. We had to take the L, didn't we?
Some of that, yeah. I think we did. But I feel like I walked it. I got like a wild hair and me and Adam or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, maybe. I think we walked back because it was late or something like that. But yeah.
And then just standing there in the crowd of people. I mean, this was like obviously way before COVID, so people were like, "Yo, Star Wars too, right? Yeah, it's great. Who did that? It smells." So yeah, just that memory of being shoulder to shoulder. Exactly, Casey. Mm-hmm. I mean, what he said. I mean, literally, people will say, "Yeah, shoulder to shoulder," but it's literally shoulder to shoulder.
Oh, you're on top of
you're trying to crowd and get the best spot in the stage. I mean, and then you're trying to. Like you can't really call. I mean, you can, but you can't hear, and the cell service isn't the best. Some of those places, so you're trying to I got in this way, come this way. Like, oh, we're over here. It's like, I got a spot right here. You sure? Are you sure? And then you run because you had this spot ready, Yeah. But then you run across and like, I'm on the stage. Where? I'm looking at the stage. Where are you? I'm here. I'm waving. Everybody is waving. I'm wearing a Star Wars shirt. It's got a falcon on it.
These are your fond memories. That's good.
Yeah, no, but see, that's just it. Like that it's that race. It's that I got to get to the best spot, the closest spot, and I want to be right in front of a TV. It's those are the it's those are the little things that you may not know the first time going to a convention where you're just like, I'm just going to stand in this line, but literally you kind of have to watch out and go. I want to, it curves this way. I'm just going to kind of just peek over to this one. And then you didn't do that all the time, but, and obviously you didn't do it if it would make someone mad, or because that's a whole other thing. Is
Because it happened to us.
right? But like if someone says something, then that obviously have that respect. But there's a certain it's the language, it's the certain mindset you have there that I remember and like to think of. And it's like riding a bicycle. So yeah, 3 years in between things, you go back to one, you automatically fall right back into, okay, here's the plan. You got to have the plan too. Making the plan is what we're going to do. Got to rush over here. You go to this. Got to get me that merch. Got to, that's the whole thing, is getting that merch. Wait in line to get a poster here or two.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, those are more general feelings and emotions. But specific memory, if I can think of one more, I'm the only one I'm thinking of is the one I want to save. So
Okay,
I think I'll just pass the torch.
Case, go ahead.
Yeah, there's a lot of little ones. The most recent one, there's a couple getting there super early. Me, you, Dave, and Adam. I don't know if Cody, you remember, but the Master and Apprentice, were you there with us when we got the Master and Apprentice copy? Yeah, that's 4, right? Yeah, that was cool. It was small, but it was like kind of horror. What you're talking about, that like rush of adrenaline. It's just like you get there super early.
We had to fight for a bracelet, right?
You had to stick your fist in there.
That's right. You had to break through this crowd of people and just hopefully somebody's slapping a bracelet on top. Like, oh yeah,
I was right beside a mom with her baby, and then here's my arm right beside the baby.
Sorry, baby.
Cutthroat.
Baby can't read.
Don't bring your baby to stop.
Oh gosh.
But that was a cool, because it's a great book, and it's just so fun that like I get like an exclusive thing, getting that merch. So that was really cool. And it was a signed copy. I believe Claudia Gray signed it, so it was just super awesome. The Del Rey booth is always fun because the authors are always there. Delilah Dawson was there a lot, signing books and stuff. So it's really fun to see the authors. That's always a fun memory. Getting them to sign your books is always awesome. There's that celebration was a fun one in general. There was just the cosplaying is always great. There's always some new fun cosplayer out there. Like I think my first year, there awesome General Grievous, who goes every year. I think like the really cool, intense, big General Grievous cosplayer. But the first time seeing him was awesome. Little things like that. Playing Destiny all night long for the which one was that? Was Cody's first one, right? So that was the one for Last Jedi. So because Ryan Johnson came later that night to meet everybody. So that was a fun one. So little things like that, the camaraderie of it, it was a blast. But the bigger things, a good memory was waking up in the middle of the night on my first one to see the Clone Wars actors there, to just kind of chatting it up with everybody else. And even cooler, this is just recent now. I listened to James Arnold Taylor's podcast, Talking to Myself, and he remembers that too. And he was telling the story from his perspective.
Oh,
and it's just so cool. It's like, how sincerely great people these guys are. And like, they were just sitting in their hotel room and just looking out the window, like, and they're talking to each other like, hey, let's just go out there and talk to those guys, and they chatted up for a long time. So it's, it's such a, going back to the community aspect and all the celebrities that make up, and all the authors and all the talent that makes up the community, they're such good people. They understand the fans, and they understand what it means to people and the diversity of the fandom, and they are very accommodating to that diversity and to just people just come to have fun and to just relish in their love for something. So the celebrities and the authors and comic book writers and everything, they understand that, and they're awesome for it. And you go for them, you go to support them as well. Probably this might be the second biggest thing. I'm not sure, but this was the second celebration I went to. So Celebration 6, and this was 2012, I think, right, Dave? This 2012. this is before the buyout. So
Yes.
and it's insane. So it was a few months before the buyout, right? This is really soon before.
Yeah, the buyout happened that October, I think, right?
Yeah. So they don't have anything leading up. Nothing leaked. We were going to celebration, just a normal celebration. There was no movie coming out. It was like a good celebration of just going to see what's going on, what's happening, what books are coming out. The biggest thing to come out was like the Detours show.
Yes.
So that's what it was. It was like the hype of that, and seeing Seth Green talk about it, and a hilarious cartoon. But then there was that panel, but another panel before that was a Clone Wars panel with Dave Filoni, and getting to see exclusive trailers and sizzles from that. But the biggest surprise of that was George Lucas coming out.
Mm-hmm.
That was a huge, huge surprise. And yes, we'd seen him before earlier celebrations, but that one didn't expect him at all.
That's right.
He comes out, and then I don't even know. Like, the next thing I know, I'm standing up screaming, and thankfully everybody else was too, because otherwise it'd just be me standing up there screaming, and because it was just incredible. Like, you kind of think that George Lucas, that is, I don't know, this just shows how awesome of a person he is, and how he cherishes what he created as well, because he unannounced, or at least unannounced to the public, he was just going to show up. And then he went to several panels. He went to the Seth Green panel about Detours. And so it was just a full weekend of surprises. And little did we know, a few months later, they were going to announce the buyout. And then a floodgate of a lot more Star Wars content. So that was a really good celebration. Also sad because we didn't get Detours, but but it was still a lot of fun to see what was to be, and that was that. I can't remember if it was that celebration or not, but I went. My buddy Adam, and we went to a couple of authors panels. One of them was Troy Denning and Aaron Alston, and two good authors, great authors, and so I was happy to see that. Happy to see, the people that I've cherished for so long. But no, it's good. A lot of good memories.
Yeah, we share a lot of the similar ones, Case, just because we've done them together. But because on my list of memories was definitely that surprise, Lucas, because there was only 200 or 300 people in that. It wasn't a big,
it wasn't a big deal,
right? The three of us were in there, right? And I remember Charles and John left. During the panel because they wanted to go, buy some merchandise or something like that. And we stayed in there. And then, of course, Dave was like, they asked Dave a question. I remember Dave said, I think only one person can answer that. And then they brought out George. And I mean, everybody went crazy. It was so cool.
Yeah. Hold on. I lost Cory.
Yeah. So there it is. But Lucas at Celebration 5, with the main event with Jon Stewart, I think they posted that actually on Star Wars' website now, because they're doing this too. They're kind of thinking about Celebration. That was a pretty cool thing, just because we stayed the night and overnight. That was our first overnight experience, and then of course getting in and seeing George and that whole thing. And I think Cody, you've mentioned already, the drive down was incredible for Celebration Orlando. Doing the podcast, obviously, I think that was been really fun, both in Orlando and then, of course, in Chicago. I think, not many of you, none of you guys were there, but when I was in Anaheim, I ran into Leland Chee, just walking the floor, and I sat there and talked to him for a good 10 minutes or so. But the funniest thing about it was, so me and our buddy Chad, we're walking the floor. I see him. I stop him. I say, "Hey, Leland, how's it going?" And we just start talking. And I remember asking him, Casey, I remember asking him a burning question I had, which was, are the original trilogy novels canon. I just would. I wanted to know, like, or even the prequels, like, were the old novels, the adaptations, were those canon? And he said, well, he simply answered, well, everything that appears in the movie is canon. So it's like,
yeah,
okay, whatever, I can live with that. So then we started talking. But wait, yeah. So anyway, we just started talking, and I find myself after about 10 minutes, I felt like I was being rude in a sense, and I felt like I was taking too much of his time. So I remember saying, like, well, Leland, it was good talking to you. I'll see you later. Like, almost, I was like brushing him off.
Yeah, you're like,
all right. I was like, all right, good to see you, man. And I remember walking away and turning to Chad, and I said,
you're like,
did I just blow off Leland? He's like, I think you did, man. I think he would have sat there and talked to you for like 30 more minutes. I'm like, damn, where is he?
Yeah, he's already talking to someone else. No.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite moments, though, because I have such admiration for everything he's done for Star Wars, and one of my favorite moments. Gosh, yeah, there are so many, panels. I think the episode 7 panel out of Anaheim, which I actually didn't make, but I was there on the outside when the trailer got released. Episode 8, when we spent the night and Rian Johnson came out right in the middle of the crowd at 3 a.m, and everybody's up and, interacting with him. Got my badge signed by him. And, then of course, we didn't get into the episode 9 panel, but we saw the trailer out by the Star Wars stage. The 40th anniversary, like you said, Cody, the poster of Carrie Fisher, which I have hanging right up here in my office, by far one of my favorite pictures that I've ever gotten from anywhere. It's just simply Carrie's picture, and it says, "May the Force be with you." And that was such a huge gift when we got there, driving all night to Orlando, and then we get to that panel, and all of a sudden I get this great, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's such a great kickoff to the weekend. And, seeing just all the people there and seeing kids there, I mean, all the kids that are dressed up and experiencing, I mean, it's so many good memories. Can't narrow it down, but there is one to me that stands out. And I'll go ahead and just talk about mine. But the one truly, I think the one memory that is just stands out truly above everything else. And it's funny because I would think I would say the Lucas appearances, but I'm not going to say that. It's honestly watching that episode 9 trailer. In the middle of that crowd, on the vendor floor, right next to the Star Wars show stage. What? I mean, at least 1,000 people. I mean, it was maybe even 2,000 people standing there. There's pictures online that from the above shot, looking down. Just you could hear a pin drop in there when it started, and just everybody's reaction to Palpatine's voice. I mean, it's just. That, to me, that summarizes Star Wars Celebration. Like the feeling and the joy you get for being around everybody and watching that is just, it was just the greatest moment in my book. I don't know. So, Cody, what's your top moment?
Yeah, no, mine's different, but I didn't mention so I'll just briefly mention, because that 9 trailer was like a really fun. It was the opening shot that just kind of let a lot of us know, like, okay, this is going to be good. The way the camera moved in on Rey, like I remember I didn't mention when I saw that, the feeling I had just felt like, Star Wars, Spielberg, filmmaking, George Lucas, like all that wrapped into one. And then it was Abrams, who is one of my favorites. But all that being said, it was fun because there is a picture of me on StarWars.com that might look like I'm crying or I'm going to say I was crying because it was so beautiful.
You just can't take it anymore.
Yeah, I just couldn't even. But my favorite moment, it probably is, and I think it's kind of briefly been mentioned by you guys. It was because it was my first celebration. It was staying overnight in line for the episode 8 panel. And it's the whole leading up to the episode 8 panel. And it's really interesting because it's a wave of emotions, right? It's like so excited to see new Star Wars again. Episode 8, we didn't know anything about it, hadn't seen anything from it. Luke's coming back because of where episode 7 left off, and it was wanting to see what Luke was going to do next. And so we're all packed in. We're getting this line. The line starts going crazy. We all funnel in this room, and where our spot in line was, people are passing us, and there's all these different queues. So we're kind of getting a little bit angry and frustrated and shoving and all this stuff. But then you're also talking to people along the way. We're all hanging out, meeting some new people in line, and then we're all playing games and Star Wars Destiny, and we're all having fun, and we get in this concrete floor and, get our spot and lay down and kind of munch on snacks and whatnot. And then kind of sitting there for a while. Dave mentioned Rian Johnson comes through. At first we're like, who is that dude in a ponytail with that little guy?
The little guy.
And then you kind of peek over and you're like, oh, the little guy is Rian Johnson. Because he had this huge bodyguard. You could only see his bodyguard. But it was it's all that wave of emotion of doing that, but doing it together with you guys is what made it really fun. And then, you try to go to sleep, and then you wake up to a lightsaber fight happening between some other fans. And it's crazy because we missed out on the main room of the panel, being there in person, by what I'm going to guess is maybe 30 or 20 people, right? And so you'd probably hear this and go, man, that's really a bummer, because we were kind of bummed out in the moment, obviously, because we spent all that time staying overnight. Sure. But then it's we get in this room and you have Warwick Davis, who is our panel host, and he's phenomenal. If you guys haven't seen him speak live, because then we get this amazing seat and we're right up by him. He's walking through the crowd, and then we watch this beautiful trailer. And 8's not even my favorite movie, but that trailer was amazing, and seeing it with all you guys and that wave of emotions of being in line, having highs, having lows. It just summed up Celebration for me, I feel like.
Nice. Cory, absolute favorite memory?
Yeah, well, I'm glad to be back, by the way. Sorry about that. Dave, you already, I think I may have missed your entire one. Have you said yours yet?
My favorite memory was the episode 9 trailer. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
I'll go a little deeper, and there was one specific part of the episode 9 trailer. So it was great. I love the trailer. Yes, seeing Leia, that was loved it, and then seeing Lando with Chewie, and the fact that kind of hit me, and I'm thinking that they're hitting all the right things. But then I lose it. I mean, I don't know who I grabbed. I may have grabbed Adam or Cody. I don't know who it was. Could have been a random guy. I'm squeezing their arm when it goes dark, and then you hear the Emperor's laugh. Yeah. And for me, that's probably one of my favorite. I mean, I got married, my daughter was born, and the Emperor's laugh. Yeah, family. Yeah. No, but no. If you've ever been in a room with thousands of grown men crying before, that's what happened. That's what I felt like what happened. I was so emotionally overwhelmed at that point, hearing that, and just because the Emperor, I mean, I love the bad guy. Everybody's favorite character is Yoda and Rey, and everybody gets to see them all the dang time. And then no one gets to see. I mean, it was really cool when Luke mentioned Darth Sidious in the. I don't even want to. I can't even say the name. but yeah. So when that happened, man, that was my favorite moment of all time, because that was really cool. That was nice. Just to know that somehow he was coming back, and that's my childhood. That's my favorite. Obviously Darth Maul, Vader, Emperor, but the Emperor, man, it just to know somehow that they were going to make that story somehow do that. I just was. I had kept composure up until then. So yeah, I definitely, that's it for me.
Case. Take us
Oh
home.
my gosh, it's really hard, honestly. I mean, the seeing Lucas with the Jon Stewart panel is, I mean, that was probably the best, but honestly, it was kind of just the environment and everything leading up to it, and then experiencing it. Just that kind of sequence of events was probably the best, mainly because it was my first celebration, and kind of like I was saying earlier, like it was the time where I was pretty much like a intense. I was a big fan of Star Wars. Like I was reading I've read the books, growing up, and watched all the all the movies and all the somewhat the animated series, the micro series leading up to that. But like, but that moment of that celebration being my first one, and also being that just event of seeing Lucas for the first time, like leading up to it, and then while it's happening, all these other things are happening. The Clone Wars guys are coming. I'm experiencing it with my good friends, and then it was just then it actually happening, getting the free T-shirt, and so it's like it was so much in that one packed in moment where it opened up a new door of my fandom in a sense, so it was celebrating everything leading up to that point of my life in Star Wars fandom, and then also just escalating it, just kind of like tapping in that like we only use like a small part of our brain. It was like opening that little bit extra part of my Star Wars brain of like just explosion of new possibilities of my fandom. And
you went powder.
Powder.
You just turned into lightning.
So it was good. It was that whole night of anticipation, and then experiencing George Lucas, the maker. It was good. It was a good new era of my Star Wars fandom that is just growing every single year. So that was it. That's pretty much it.
And that's it for us. I think that's a good summary of our experience with Star Wars Celebration. I think it goes without saying, because we've obviously gone and we've talked about it, you will find nothing but positive talk about Celebration from us on this on Inside the Force. I think because I keep saying it every time we do bring it up. If you haven't experienced it, you've got to experience it at least once. It will, in that sense, Casey, somewhat either change the way you view your fandom for the better, or even just ignite it even more, because there is something with being around so many people, like Cory said earlier, that share the exact same feeling about Star Wars as you do. I still have yet, with all the hatred sometimes that's toxic in the Star Wars fandom, I never seen any of that in Celebration.
Mm-hmm.
I think we even thought about that going to Chicago, like with the reaction
mm-hmm.
from AIDS. Is that gonna? I felt like everybody there was like, no, keep that away. Nothing but positivity here,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's just a really cool thing. It's a shame we got to wait 2 more years, but it's just 2 more years of excitement, and hopefully there's a lot of content that we'll be introduced to, including a new movie.
It's pretty new. I think it's going to be a whole new bag.
I agree with
Star
you.
Wars.
I agree with you.
Small movie.
There's Maul. All right. So thanks everybody for listening and celebrating with us. Go to InsideTheForce.com to follow us on our new kind of revamped Star Wars channel over at YouTube. We've got some new council sessions on there and some Beyond the Sagas, I think. So every one of us has participated in the council sessions, which have got a couple of other ones lined up, actually, with some other podcast hosts out there that are going to be joining us and doing some of those with me. So look for those as we talk about some burning questions in the galaxy. But other than that, we will come back to you next week, hopefully with some new Star Wars content at some point. Who knows? But thanks, guys, for joining me. We will be back next week. Have a great week. For Cody Geiler.
See y'all.
Master Koo.
Until next time.
Case.
Goodbye, everybody.
Thanks for listening, everybody. I'm Dave Cody, and may the force be with you.